Alright, I'm gonna do this video because you guys keep asking over and over again, so why not make a video about it? Kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. Time management, ideas, and tips, because you guys keep asking me how I do it all, because I do a lot. Let me share you some of the tips, and then I'm gonna kind of share you how I use those tips in my everyday life at the end of this video. So the first one I'm gonna talk about is delegation. Delegate it to your kids, delegate it to your mother-in-law, delegate it to your husband or spouse, or delegate. Now I know most of us women, especially women, men too, but I'm a woman, so I'm gonna just speak to the women right now. But we tend to want to control and do everything. It's just a tendency that we kind of have, and we think that we can do it all, and if we can't do it all, we're failures, and we're really hard on ourselves, especially since we think we have to do it all. See, if you can lay down that pride, because that's what it is, it's pride. Lay down that pride and let somebody else pick up that burden for you. It may not be a burden for them, in all honesty. It may be something that they're just blessed to do. It's a blessing for them to do it, right? Because they enjoy it. So for example, my mother-in-law, who basically made us write this in our marriage contract, has to be with her grandkids quite frequently, once a week to be exact, at least once a week, okay? Like I said, it's in the marriage contract. It was really hard for me in the beginning to think that I actually needed to let her have the grandkids. She wants to do it. It's a blessing. She loves being around them. Those are her family too, and she wants to feed into their lives. It's really important for her. But me, I felt crushed thinking like I couldn't do it all. So I had to have someone help me, and it just crushed me. And we fought and bickered a lot. Let's just be honest. And it wasn't until recently that I realized it was my pride thinking I could do everything. So now, once a week, my mother-in-law comes over and just takes care of the kids because she wants to bless me, and it's a blessing to her. And you know what? I had to realize that I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this, and now I have a whole day, or at least a half a day, that I don't have to worry about stuff. So what do I do during that time, you might ask? Doing homeschool evaluations, and that's the day I do it. That's the day I do it all, guys, if you wanted to know. Just saying. Lesson planning, sometimes working on YouTube stuff. So delegating. Also, my kids take on a good 75% of the chores in the house that we do. I don't even pay them. That's a whole nother thing because it's their responsibility. They live here, they make the mess, they clean it up. I'm not getting paid. Also, we as a family do things together, okay? It's not just me doing it, it's all of us together. Whether it's we're exploring a new topic that we're interested in, because I get, really interested in a lot of different things. They help me, believe it or not, they do help me out with my YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm serious, guys, they do. Or taking more ownership of their schoolwork is another great example. Rewarding them for their good behavior, rewarding them for taking ownership. I mean, yeah, they're getting older now, and instead of us trying to control every little aspect of their life, they're not babies anymore. We had to do that when they were babies. We gotta let it go and let them take ownership of their lives. So yeah. They also take responsibility of each other. For example, the older kids really look out for the younger daughter. They help each other with their schoolwork, but delegate, 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 delegate. The next tip I have is use some productivity tools. Okay, so a lot of this has to do with your phone, but this can be other things as well. So I like to listen to my friends talk to me instead of read text messages. It's easier to listen to somebody and have your hands free so you can cut tomatoes, for example. Or when you're text messaging or writing an email, really utilize that talk to text thing. So instead of typing it out, talk to your phone, go back, fix mistakes, and hit send. So that's another way to save up on time. Another thing you could do is calendars when you need to communicate. My daughter has therapy at 9 this morning. We rescheduled it to 10. I can sync it up into the calendar that we all have synced together so he knows what's going on, I know what's going on, and we don't have to make that extra phone call. There are also productivity apps that you can get on your phone, help you with spelling, help you with grammar, help you with more scheduling stuff, planning, all those things. Check them out, learn them, take the time to actually learn them, and then utilize them in your everyday. So if you only have a certain amount of time to do something, for example, you may want to produce 1 versus 5 of those things, because then you have that one good quality product. So here's an example just to throw this out, right? So at one point I taught middle school choir. And I learned that it was better for me to spend more time on having them learn 2 songs, really, really good, to present at the concert, because we're still going to present at the concert, instead of 5 songs that were just okay. You're still going to present at the concert regardless. Just 2 are better than 5 that are so-so. And of course, another tip would just learn to be flexible and go with the flow, because sometimes it's not always what you expect. So I just throw that out there. You can interpret that one as need be. Another tip is when you're working with something that takes a lot of brain power, it's good to focus on one specific thing at a time. Just one specific thing. Why don't we just focus on math for like a good hour and get it down good, instead of doing math for 15 minutes and then history for 15 minutes and science for 15. No. Spend the time soaking in that one area for a longer period of time. You're gonna learn more and retain more. Which leads me to knowing your learning style and teaching style. That's important to know, because some of us learn differently, and if we try to learn something that's not our learning style, we're not gonna learn at all, and we just wasted time. So some of us like to write things down. Some of us like to use planners. Some of us do list making. Some of us like to record memos and listen to them back. Some of us find it's easier to read books as opposed to watch a YouTube video, or vice versa. So if you know your learning style, that's going to help you retain and find the information quicker. And teaching too, because usually your learning style is how you teach. All right, weeding out what's important and not important. And there are lots of things in this world that we may spend way too much time on that is just not that important. And instead of trying to perfect something that really doesn't need perfecting, we just move on. So, for example, because I do YouTube and that's, a thing. So maybe I don't like the way the lighting looks in a video that I just made, and it's not that big of a deal, but it's minor. Spending a couple hours trying to tweak that lighting may not necessarily be that important in that moment. I can learn from my mistake and better, set up lighting equipment so that I won't run into that problem in the future, but trying to fix it when I need to get a video out the next day, not always the best, right? You see what I'm saying? Make good choices when it comes to what you weed out, and have intention behind what you do and what you don't do. One thing is gossiping, all those, losing your temper, stressing out. If you can control that, control it. Gossiping takes up a lot of time. So be productive with that. Maybe weed that out, save yourself a couple hours a week. And listening to gossip too, those kind of things. All right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about how I kind of time manage a little bit in my household to just kind of keep my sanity. First of all, I do attribute to the fact that I have a lot of energy. I have made it a point to eat extremely healthy. I don't eat any sugar, like sugar. I have fruit, but not like candy. I don't eat chocolate. I don't eat ice cream. I don't eat milk products, like that kind of stuff. I don't eat heavy carbs or white flour, and I don't. It's just out of my diet. I don't even like the taste of those things. Pizza tastes like rubber to me. Chocolate tastes like plastic. So my taste buds have actually adjusted to my diet at this point. So eating healthy is definitely a must. I know getting enough sleep should be another one, but I'll be honest, I don't. I don't get enough sleep. But I do exercise. So there's that. I homeschool 4 kids. One has special needs and has therapies, but I also homeschool the other ones. How I've delegated that a little bit is that I have a homeschool co-op that they're a part of twice a week. And here's the reality of it though, is that the majority of the classes that my kids take at the homeschool co-op, I am also teaching them. Well, if I'm going to be teaching my kids, why don't I teach some of their friends as well too? Why not? Their parents may need some relief, right? It's a blessing to me to teach their kids. So I teach sciences at the homeschool co-op. This year I'm also teaching a speech and debate class. So yeah, that's one way. It sounds like I'm doing a lot, but I'm going to be teaching my kids anyway. Might as well have other kids join. So it's not really that much. But they also have some classes that they're in that I don't teach. And so that's a little bit of a relief for me. And during that time that they're in classes, I'm lesson planning for the following week. See how I did that? The next thing I have is therapies with Naomi. So she has a lot of therapies, like a lot of therapies and extra stuff. So we have managed, because my husband's work schedule is very unique. He works at 12 p.m. and he'll go through the night and come home at 1 o'clock in the morning because he's a paramedic. And he only works 3 days a week. So he's able to take her to some therapies and I can work at home with my kids alone. I also have my mother-in-law that comes over that also, does the therapy thing and watches my kids. There are days that we do go to therapies with all my kids, and in that case, when Naomi's in therapy, I will sit outside with my kids and we'll do one class. Usually it's history. Or if it's listening to an audiobook, we'll do an audiobook listening. My husband also has taken on some responsibilities as a parent. We can't do it all ourselves, moms. And if they're not doing it, you should have a little chit chat and encourage them to help out, whether you're doing a Bible study at night, have your kids present projects to them, those kind of things. My husband takes on not all of them, but most of the Bible study and apologetics and those kind of things, memorizing verses. I do some stuff with them as well because it's infiltrated in our lessons. But he does the heavy stuff with them because he loves it and it's a blessing to him. My mother-in-law comes over and she also likes to teach my kids to clean. That's kind of a side note. So she takes on teaching responsibilities. So delegating, but delegating to people that are family, right? And people I trust because I know them and we're working together as a team. It always says, you need a village to raise, you need a community to raise a village. I forgot what the saying is, but you know what I'm saying. But make sure that community and that village, that you're all on the same page together. And it truly is a community effort, not like hey, take my kids so I don't have to worry about them anymore. Another thing that I like to do, like I said, homeschool evaluations, and those usually happen when my mother-in-law is over and feeding into my children and their lives, and that usually is very heavy-handed over the summer, and that's when the majority of them happen. I also do them all on Zoom. That way I can just book them back-to-back and get in as many people as I can. I give them each, if they have one kid, we'll do like an hour segment from 1 to 2. 3 kids will get like an hour block. Testing for one kid is a 2-hour block, and I can just sit by my computer for 1 day a week while my mother-in-law's got my kids and just do it all there. And it's a blessing to me too because I love doing that kind of stuff and reaching out to those of you guys out there. I'm not neglecting my kids, I promise. I'm not. When it comes to YouTube, all right, and all the uploading and stuff like that, the reality is my kids go to bed at 9, and I have from 9 till whenever I feel like sleeping. This is what I do. It's nighttime right now. It's 11 o'clock at night, I think. I don't know what time it is. It's somewhere around that time. That's all I do. I work with social media stuff and YouTube. Unless I'm doing like a vlog, okay? But during the day, I'm 100% with my kids. I'm not scripting. I'm not distracted. I mean, maybe I'll talk on the phone. But I'm 100% with my kids. And if I do talk on the phone, they've got stuff that they can jump in and do because they have a list of all their schoolwork that they have to do, whether they wrote it in a book themselves or it's written on the board. Plus, we have a routine, so there are no excuses. And when it comes to the children's ministry at my congregation, I do have a partner in crime that I work with, but the reality of all of this is that I have delegated it, I have structured it out enough so that the ministry kind of works itself. I don't talk to my teachers every week about what they're doing. I give them the lesson plans a week in advance. They have questions, they can call me, but they usually don't. And then I see them during service, check in with them, do small talk. Maybe every once a month or once a quarter we have a meeting. We're down like that. We're cool. We got this. We got this. It works itself. I don't have to worry about too many things. It just happens. Yes, I am very busy. Every moment of my life is taken up, but I find joy in all the things I do. I find joy in spending time with my kids. I find joy in doing YouTube videos. I find joy in talking with my friends on YouTube and Facebook and all the things. And I always try to combine things up together. Like, I love talking to my friend Summer. Let's do a YouTube video together. If I find a hobby that I love doing, I'm going to find a way to make that actually productive. I love teaching, okay? I'm going to homeschool my kids. I love history. We're going to have fun studying history together. I love science, like a lot more than history, probably. So I'm going to teach science at the homeschool co-op and other kids too, because let's just do it together. I love reading certain books, so why not find a way to bless that ministry while reading the books that I like to read, I combine, bring it all together, So that's what I do, and that's how I do it. Ask me any questions you guys may have, and until then, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Bye.